Hi there, this is Datila, and welcome to the Wrestling Time Post Show. It is Friday, June 7, 2024, and tonight I'll be talking about Friday Night SmackDown, but I'm not alone. Joining me is fellow WrestleManiac, Josh.
Hey guys and gals out there, WrestleManiacs, as well as Rangers of Wrestling fans, I am back. I had a little sabbatical due to the crazy storms here in Texas and equipment failure, but guess what? I am back like Eric Bischoff once said way back when. So, ready to review SmackDown, and it was so nice tonight. Hell, I'm going to review it twice with Datila here, so can't wait.
You're back and better than ever.
That's right, exactly.
All right, let's kick things off talking about this Bloodline Anointment ceremony. We find out that Paul Heyman anointed Tama Tonga, the right-hand man, and Tonga Loa is the infamous, and now we all know Solo Sikoa sits at the head of the table until Roman Reigns comes back. So, what were your thoughts on that?
Could you call it a ceremony? Because it really wasn't. It literally, they might as well just said, the Bloodline promo, because I didn't see any type of, let's put it this way. If it was Roman Reigns, we would have had some of the necklaces. We would have had some of the elders there. We would have had a lot more than just, oh, you're now going to be the right-hand man, and oh, now you're going to be the infamous. I mean, was it an anointment? Because that definitely was the strangest anointment. Even some water from the land of Tonga, something, right? I mean, it was literally just Paul Heyman saying, you're this person, and, poor Solo was just the tribal chief now. So, I mean, I don't know. It didn't feel like a ceremony at all.
Got this picture. Paul Heyman looks like he's being held hostage over here.
Yeah, literally. I mean, look, I've got blonde hair, as I said in my podcast, but I'm glad that, finally Solo's letting his dark roots show, because I'm sorry, that damn blonde hair and his chauffeur gloves, he looks like an angry chauffeur that's waiting on the boss to show back up. Those gloves kill me. Every week I'm like, please just take them off, because I don't get it. I'm trying. I mean, I like Tonga and I like Loa, but I don't know. Just to me, it's not clicking. It's not clicking for me at all.
So you're saying that he doesn't look like a tribal chief to you?
He looks like the chauffeur. I don't know why that is. I've tried. I've literally sat and I'm like, okay, what is it about him that's making me not buy it? Is it the blonde hair? Is it? But then Rikishi had blonde hair and he was a badass, right? But is it the gloves? It's this sort of. You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of kind of like the NWO and NWO Wolfpack. Yes, the Wolfpack had some star power, no doubt about it. But it's not the same. You still don't have the black and white, and there's no danger element there. I'm not afraid of Solo Sikoa. I'm just not. To me, he has been so ineffective as a heel standing in the back. I don't know. Imagine Maven joining Evolution and taking over. That's what I would equate him to. If it was Batista, I could buy it, but we all know Jacob Fatu's in the wings, and once he shows up, everybody else is null and void at this point.
Speaking of Jacob Fatu, I wonder when he's going to debut.
God, hopefully soon, because somebody needs to do something. Because, otherwise, look, Ram Jam earlier said in the comments, on my channel that it's like the Millionaires Club and the New Blood from WCW, and that's a bad combination to compare it to. That's horrible. So, I don't know. Solo's got to do something, because I'm still not buying the whole Umaga Jr. thing from him.
So this opening segment eventually sets up the main event, which was a six-man tag match. It was the Street Profits and Kevin Owens versus the Bloodline. Kevin Owens came out there swinging a steel chair. And then after this, Solo Sikoa orders Paul Heyman to go get him a six-man tag match, because otherwise he's gonna face Tama Tonga in the locker room. Poor Paul Heyman is scared to death, but he can't leave.
And it's so just. Here's where I think the problem is. They've been very good at putting these little threads out there, these little bitty things. But if you think about the history, you never heard him talk to Roman saying, Roman, you got to kind of look out for Solo. He's kind of nuts. You never saw Solo intimidate Paul Heyman until all of a sudden, once Roman's gone, then suddenly Paul Heyman is scared of Solo. They've tried to cover it up by Paul Heyman saying, look, the bloodline, last week he said it, we've been trying to vet these people, do background checks, and these two, I don't know about them, but Solo, you've been with Solo for the last year and a half, and now all of a sudden you're scared of him. It just seems forced, and it seems very WCW, like Dungeon of Doom to me. I just don't buy it.
I mean, I guess the reason, because, Roman was around. Hi.
Sure. I don't know. There was never any thread of all of a sudden Solo is now intimidating Paul Heyman. There was never this sort of Paul Heyman cuts up looks and Solo just does it. There's not a thread there that usually there always is a thread. And I look back and think maybe I missed something. And it just seemed like all of a sudden, once Roman lost, now Solo is the boss and now Solo's intimidating people. There's a story there, but I don't know. To me, like, he's not won anything to make anybody scared of him, except for killing John Cena at the last Saudi Arabia pay-per-view prior to King and Queen of the Ring. But even that, they didn't follow up with, really.
I feel like maybe Solo... I feel like maybe, like, Heyman's just scared of Solo. Like, because otherwise he would have left. Like, maybe he's hoping, like, Roman Reigns comes back soon.
That damn haircut of his, I think. Maybe he's scared of that and the stupid-ass gloves he wears. I don't know. I don't feel the intimidation factor. I just don't. He had it in NXT when he said nothing, but they almost waited around too long for him to do anything. Because after he tore up John Cena, it should have been he was on a tirade. The Bloodline should have never lost. He should have been the enforcer, and he wasn't.
Maybe if Solo won some one-on-one matches, he'd be more intimidating.
Excuse me. Well, I would agree. I mean, is the butt off the rose at this point? Do I think he could be a main eventer? Yeah, but I think he's going to have to cool off quite a while to become a main eventer because, look, to me, once he beat John Cena, why are we not seeing Randy Orton in him? That should be where we were seeing instead of Kevin Owens. No disrespect to Kevin Owens, but to beat Randy Orton is not the same as beating Kevin Owens. It's a big, 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 big deal. And so
that's true. And Randy Orton's just got a score to settle with the Bloodline for taking him out.
Exactly. And to me, that should have been where we should have seen Randy Orton bloodied in the back, where, bam, bam, bam. That's what I wanted to see, the horror movie aspect of him just being dragged along by Solo. Then I can buy a little bit of the aggressiveness, but the whole Bloodline having to take him out, I don't know. They're just missing the boat on him. And it's not that it's dead in the water, but something's got to happen soon because this could definitely make it to where nobody's buying it. They're booing him to boo him, not because they hate him.
We'll see if there's some logic to what you're saying.
Hopefully so.
So you get Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill versus Candice LeRae and Indi Hartwell. I thought this was a pretty decent match.
And again, making Jade Cargill and them look good. I mean, and that's fine. Indi and Candice Hartwell, their ship has sailed a long time ago. We had the story of the forced tease of a heel turn. Now they're just being fed to Bianca and Jade. So.
Yeah, that story really didn't go anywhere. Honestly, with the Candice LeRae heel turn, it really didn't go anywhere.
She's been ineffective. Tell me a time besides the way in NXT when Candice LeRae has made any impact on the roster. She hasn't. Indi Hartwell tried, but Indi Hartwell with the whole, they're missing something. Look, Shayna Baszler and Zoe Stark, my wife always says that they're my favorites, but no matter what, even if they lose, you still have the badass element of them, right? You're still looking at them like, these are legit tough chicks, right? And same with Alba Fire and Isla Dawn, even though you don't see them very often, there's still this mystique about them. We see Candice and Indi, and my God, you remember the Candice and Indi feud with Maxine Dupree for weeks on end. That never went anywhere. Maxine is any better? No, not really. So where is the threat here? They were just, poor girls were fed to, Bianca, and I call them the pretty mean sisters. So
this wasn't necessarily an enhancement match, but you do have a point there. So Zoe Stark and Shayna Baszler, along with the Unholy Union, were at ringside watching this match. And even though Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair won this match, the Unholy Union and Shayna Baszler and Zoe Starks attacked, which we later find out we're going to get a triple threat match for those tag titles. Especially after that brawl broke out. And then, I really like the spot where Jade Cargill did Jaded to Alba Fire, and then Bianca hit Isla Dawn with the KOD.
I like the spot, but I hated it because I'm like, oh, now if they'd hit one on each of the opposing teammates, that'd have been all right. But to do to those two, wasn't a burial, but still, I would have much rather seen Bianca hit the KOD on, let's say, Zoe Stark, the Jaded on Isla Dawn. So you have the idea of, holy crap, they can take out both teams at the same time. Again, but here's the big question. I think it's Isla Dawn and Alba Fire. I think both of them are from Europe, right? I believe even Scotland. So
they're gonna make them lose in their home country.
Are they gonna make? But here's the thing: you got that. You got later on. We're going to talk about Piper Niven and poor Drew McIntyre. Are they all going to lose in their home country, and everybody's going to lose their stuff?
Hey, save that for predictions next week.
I know. I'm getting excited about that next week. But anyways, yeah, I don't know. I mean, the segment was good enough, and I like that they did have that tension continuing. So that was nice.
Yeah. So we get Apollo Crews interview, which really doesn't go anywhere because, he's talking about Angel Garza. But before he could do anything, Humberto Carrillo and Angel Garza attack him, and he gets taken out. And as we find out, his match is totally off the card for tonight's show. And then this leads into an LA Night segment where he's basically looking for Logan Paul, but Logan Paul's not there. And so he ends up getting a match with Carmelo Hayes, taking Apollo Crews' spot on the card. So what were your thoughts on this?
You said it best. Apollo Crews' career, like his career, never goes anywhere. The man was a former Intercontinental Champion a couple of years ago, right? And now he's been relegated to what? He disappeared through injury. I'm not really sure. And again, I don't dislike the whole feud versus the Legado del Fantasma, but where's his partner? He has no partner to help him out. So that was kind of a transitional thing. I get it. LA Knight's thing with Logan Paul is good, but poor Carmelo. To be one of the number one picks and basically to be in a feud with LA Knight, who LA Knight's not really even giving a damn to feud with him. It's more Logan Paul. He's kind of a placeholder. Unless this leads to LA Knight winning, and then, Little Mello, I call him, slips in and, wins the United States Championship, fine. And, like I said, I like Mello, but God, his size kills me because it makes it to where he's so small by comparison to everybody else. Rey Mysterio can get away with it, and so can Mello, but what has Mello really done? He fought Cody Rhodes in a losing effort, and in the match later on, we'll talk about it. Where's his big win? That's my question.
So we get Johnny Gargano versus Grayson Waller, and I actually really thought this was a great match.
Yes.
I thought this was a great match. I thought it was a really, really good match. One of my favorite matches of the night. But I have to say, they're obviously teasing tension between Grayson Waller and Austin Theory. Last week, Austin Theory lost because Grayson Waller inadvertently distracted him. This time around, Grayson Waller won because he pulled Austin Theory in front of him.
I'll say this, and I said this earlier. The report I read from NobodyQ.com is they're wanting Austin Theory to be the babyface. I don't think so. I don't think so at all. I think when I look at Grayson Waller, the boy, not that Austin Theory doesn't have it. Austin Theory has the it factor to be the heel. He just does. He's just generally dislikable. Grayson Waller, and from a merchandising perspective, I can see WWE saying Grayson Waller's shoe cups or whatever the hell, and him sitting there doing it, and everybody else in the crowd doing it along with him. I can see the celebration. So to me, where they're going, I don't know, but I don't think Austin Theory. I think Grayson Waller is going to be able to pull the babyface roll off, whereas Austin Theory just naturally has that heel persona. He just does. I want to punch him in the face, not Grayson.
I mean, Austin Theory has played the babyface. Wasn't he a babyface when he was in The Way?
The Way was such a de facto, they were heels and then they were faces, kind of de facto. They were, but let me put it to you this way. When they were playing faces, I was waiting on him to turn on Johnny Gargano because he just has that look. And it's not a bad thing to be a heel. I mean, Sting tried to be heel, and we all saw how that worked out. It never really worked out. And Lex Luger tried to be babyface and heel, and I always thought he was better as a heel. So I don't think the talent is not there. I just think in terms of marketing and in terms of likability, I think Grayson just has the capability to be a bigger babyface than Austin Theory. I just do.
You know, I do think that Austin Theory would make the better heel. Yeah.
Because he beat up John Cena. You know?
All right. So we get Cody Rhodes. And basically throughout the whole night, you know, he's been pacing back and forth in that same spot. And the whole gist of this segment is that, like, he wants to get AJ Styles back for doing that Styles Clash off the Stadiums. By the way, that was a really cool spot.
Yes, such a cool spot and such a cool, you know, throwback to the Mark Henry retirement. We all saw it coming, but boy, it was still masterful.
The only thing missing was that he was missing a pink salmon suit.
I think that's why he went with the blue, I think, because kind of an homage, I think, to Henry without really saying so. It was kind of a wink in a way.
Yeah. So the whole point of this is that AJ Styles wants Cody Rhodes to give him a title opportunity. He does. But it's not just any title opportunity. It's going to be an I Quit match at Clash of the Castle. I was really excited when I heard this. It's been a while since we had an I Quit match.
Very.
My favorite I Quit match, because I saw this on pay-per-view, was John Cena versus JBL Judgment Day 2005.
Well, I think he was going to hit him with what I think a fireplace or something like that, bricks or something. He was like,
he was
okay,
hit him with that giant truck muffler, and JBL quit.
That's right. That's right. I do remember that now that you think of it. Goodness. That's how old I am now. I remember that being in high school.
I was
aging myself here. That's okay. Well, you know, the only thing I will say that we actually had a throwback to another actually meme with Batista. I don't know if you caught that when AJ Styles like, give me what I want.
Oh, yeah.
A nod to Batista. I liked it. I thought that was pretty cute. You know what? Cody Rhodes finally showed me that he wanted to kick somebody here. Because you know what? After what The Rock did to him, did you see him pacing in the backstage waiting on The Rock? Nope. Did you see him try to go at any media appearances at news and, you know, destroy something? Heck, Austin went to a freaking grocery store to beat the crap out of Booker T over costing him undisputed title, and Cody Rhodes did nothing to The Rock. Now, I know we're not talking about The Rock, but I like that Cody Rhodes finally, as a babyface, is mad enough of being attacked and being rused. He's like, you know what? Screw this. I'm going to wait. And told Adam Pearce throughout the night, security ain't going to do nothing. We're going to handle this as men. And I like the fact that he tried to go to the car. Security stopped him and like, you know what? Babyface logic made sense. He goes out to the ring and says, get your butt out. Get your ass out here actually now and come face me. So even though security held him down, AJ Styles got the cheap shot in. This was a good setup for the I Quit match. It really was a lot better and gave Rhodes really a temper that he should have been having this entire babyface run.
Now, I thought one thing that was interesting was it was AJ Styles in the OC except Nia Jax. She didn't show up with them. I wonder why. But this lone segment got me really excited for that I Quit match.
I hate to say it because Michin, whatever she wants to call herself, you know, she's in NXT, right, for the Battleground match coming up this weekend. And then she's also, well, we see her later in another segment with another certain Queen of the Ring, let's say. So I think they're just kind of removing her because who's going to be the opposite on Cody Rhodes' side, really?
You gotta wait and see.
Randy? Hopefully not.
Randy?
Randy.
Mm-hmm. I could see Randy, yeah. All right. So we get LA Knight, yeah, versus Carmelo Hayes, which I also thought this was a great match.
I mean, yeah, it was good. You knew who was going to win in the end, but I mean, for what it was a lot better match than, you know, anything else we'd seen so far, except, of course, the match we talked about earlier.
But I have to say, I do agree with you earlier. Like, Carmelo Hayes was the number one draft pick, yet he hasn't really done anything of substance on SmackDown since he came to SmackDown.
Nope. Little Melo ain't done nothing.
I definitely want to see more out of Melo. He has potential. He really does. He's got potential to be, a champion and stuff like that. I just don't understand why they're not really doing anything with him. I mean, if you look at the difference between him and Braun Breaker, the way they're using Braun Breaker and then the way they're using Carmelo Hayes, it's like night and day.
I hate to say it, I think his size hurts him. It just does. He just, I mean, if you look at his match with Cody Rhodes, he's about up to here to Cody Rhodes. Oh, well and good. He's not a short man by any stretch. He might even be taller than I am, but it just, perception sometimes is reality. So when he's talking a big game in NXT, he had Trick Williams, the real tall dude behind him, real buff. He needs a bodyguard. I don't want to say he's like Shawn Michaels, but he makes me think of the fact if you give Melo a bodyguard, it gives a real credence to the fact that he can be mousy. He can be kind of screwy and run around and cheat to win. And even if it's just a big, I'm not going to say this to the wrestling gods, okay, but the visual makes sense to me. But Omos ain't doing nothing else. Bring him in, let him trip somebody, and the visual of Omos standing so tall above Melo is the idea of the fact that somebody comes up to Melo, Omos literally just has to move him back, stand in front of him, say, you want him, you got to go through me. Omos don't got to wrestle. Kevin Nash, Diesel didn't wrestle for a little bit for a long time as he was Shawn Michaels' bodyguard. All he had to do was stand there and be imposing. So why can't Omos?
I had to say, in my opinion, Omos's best stuff was when he was with AJ Styles.
Oh, because he's with the GOAT. I mean, you could put any animal with a GOAT and he's going to make it better. But I think it led credence to the fact that Omos didn't have to do much. And with Carmelo being so little and so small in comparison to the rest of the roster, and again, not to be disrespectful, I just mean that the visual of just this giant, and here's Carmelo shooting his mouth off, and he can run away and go behind Omos, and Omos literally just chops him. But I just think that would make the most sense because Omos isn't doing anything. Obafemi is now NXT's whatever Black Panther down there, which is great. I'm loving his stuff down there. But I think that Omos could really grant a credence because Carmelo can talk. Omos just got to stand there.
That would be an interesting pairing.
Hell of a visual.
Yeah. And we'll see. So at the end of the match, LA Knight, calls out Logan Paul and basically letting him know that if he doesn't want to come to SmackDown, he'll bring the SmackDown to him.
Well, he's at the World Tetris Championships right now. He's busy. Logan Paul is busy, man. He's at the World Tetris Championship. I didn't
know that was a thing.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, look, we got Adam over at the, Comic-Con in Dallas. So, I mean, Logan Paul's got things to do. He's got his podcast. He's a busy United States champion, right? Because, WWE doesn't have part-timer champions at all. That's not their thing.
That's true. Adam is killing it over there at Dallas Expo.
He is.
So we get a Nia Jax segment. And this was kind of an interesting segment because you have Tiffany approach her, basically asking to be the princess of the ring. It's just, warming up to Nia, saying that she was her favorite and stuff like that. And it would be an interesting pairing to put them together. It makes you wonder what Tiffany's intentions truly are here.
You know what the beautiful thing about it is? I don't think most people picked up on. Tiffany wore black tonight. In her whole entire tenure, I don't ever remember her wearing all black like that. Not ever. So we have this Tiffany Stratton, the bubbly Barbie, now suddenly is wearing all black. Kind of a, I'm going to say this word, not that it applies, but a more darker Vixen Sable-esque type of role. Sable wore black a lot, like that kind of color and leather. And so I'm thinking, and she's working with Nia Jax, and look, sometimes the enemy of my enemy is my friend. So if she wants protection, all she got to do is tell Nia Jax, hey, I mean, it's almost similar to Alexa Bliss in a way. Alexa Bliss had Nia as her friend, and are they going to turn, Nia Jax babyface? I doubt it. This may be a way of getting Tiffany babyface. I wasn't against it. I mean, God, maybe she can show Nia how not to kill people in the ring, I mean, do something. Again, it's reality and perception. Such like I mentioned about Omos and Carmelo, Nia Jax standing outside of the ring while Tiffany has a match. Everybody has to have a monster somewhere in their pocket.
It would be a very interesting pairing. Maybe Tiffany's using Nia to her own advantage, because she could take out Bayley while Tiffany just kind of like swoops in.
Money in the Bank's coming up. So it'd be really, really useful to have Nia Jax on your side because if she's not in the match, right? She's already guaranteed a SummerSlam shot. Suddenly, Tiffany needs a little bit of a boost that she's tired. Nia Jax comes in, helps her. She's going to help her be princess in the ring as long as the following happens. You could always say Tiffany's like, look, Nia, I would never cash in on you. That's not my thing. I'm going to go for the Raw Women's Championship when it's time. Then you had the big reveal. Oh, my God. Tiffany's been using her the entire time to win the Money in the Bank. Waits till SummerSlam or later and cashes in and says she beat Nia Jax for the Women's Championship. What a feather in her cap as her early career. I'm just saying it would make sense.
You always have some wildest ideas.
I know. I don't know where it comes from. Who knows?
It's
Evil
it's
mastermind,
really
maybe.
late where you're at, so that's probably what it is.
Maybe I should be part of the writing team. Maybe not. Probably fire me the first day, I guess. Who
So
knows?
also in this segment, Michin attacks Nia Jax. She throws her drink. Well, actually, she doesn't attack Nia Jax. My bad. She Nia Jax tells Michin to take a page out of Styles' book and retire, and then Michin throws a drink, which causes Nia Jax to attack her. And she's basically yelling at Nia Jax to keep AJ Styles' name out of her mouth. Again, it's interesting that this happened because she wasn't out there with AJ and the OC.
The segment was comically funny for all the wrong reasons. I think they put too much drink in there because poor Nia kept slipping and kept slipping and kept slipping on that damn drink. I was just like, oh my God, somebody help her, please, because you can see her slip. You can see her slip every time she tried to throw her over the table. I mean, I'm not mad at this little mini feud. I mean, Nia Jax has got to do something. She already killed Valkyria, essentially squashed her, literally. Not in terms of career, but, she's still injured and they're not on the same show. So, yeah. Why not give Michin I think what's going to happen is Sunday we're going to get a real good showing from her on Sunday. Oh, look, she's really good. Mia Yim's, a badass, blah, blah, blah. And now she's going to fight Nia Jax. So why not build her up a little bit? But again, it is weird that they had to keep AJ Styles' name out of your mouth because we had that in another segment the same way, a Will Smith kind of throwback. So good enough segment. I mean, I didn't mind it.
Yeah, I didn't mind it too much either. So we get Bayley out there, and I honestly really like this whole interaction with Bayley and Piper Nivens. I feel like this promo that Piper Nivens cut was the best one so far that she's done, talking about how, and I like the fact that she said this, that while she was, out there being a trailblazer, Bayley was a trailblazer in already made scene, dashing out high fives and hugs.
Yeah, I mean, I really, kudos to Piper Niven. One thing that has nothing to do with wrestling, but that damn chic she's got going on, that fashion sense, killing it. I'm loving it. And because to me, she's got this she's just had a comeback. I mean, Piper Niven is supposed to be a monster. She's supposed to be this kind of smart, intelligent, I'm going to kick your A kind of thing. And I like that she just told Bayley, look, I'm going to squash you. I'm in my home country. This is already done and over. Chelsea Green, of course, doing her thing. Bayley, I'm kind of over the whole Bayley experiment now. It's been too long, and the nose ring drives me crazy. But I just don't feel any danger because we have Nia Jax in the wings. So I get that Piper Niven's going to get a showing, hopefully, but she ain't going to beat Bayley in Clash of the Castle. That's not going to happen. She's got to go and be fed to Nia Jax. So kudos to Piper because she's got promo skills. And I hope from this match that they see something in her more than just a tag team specialist. So I was excited. I'm excited for Piper. I'd rather have her and Bayley versus Chelsea and Bayley because that's even worse.
I was thinking the exact same thing that you said. Like, I was thinking this entire segment was happening. I was thinking to myself, like, no matter, even though I thought that this was a good segment and great promo work by Piper Nivens, I kept thinking to myself, oh, they're going to make her lose in her hometown, especially because Bayley brought up the fact that she knows what it's like to lose in your hometown, to lose in front of your friends and family. So I was like, oh my God, they're going to make Piper Nivens lose in her home country.
They telegraphed it right there and told you the story. Guess what's going to happen? And you know what, though? As long as I think Piper is able to look good in her loss, and it's just kind of a happenstantial, as long as they book it the right way, she can still lose and still be over because she can be over with the crowd regardless. But if they give her that moment that she's needed in this entire tenure, I'm excited for her. Even if she loses, as long as they make her look good in the losing effort, hey, I'm cool with it.
Same. As long as she looks good in defeat, I'm okay. I have no issues with that. we get a Logan Paul, I guess, video promo, and he addresses LA Knight. Yeah. He tells him to take off his Temu sunglasses. Yeah, he went there. And basically says that since he hasn't done anything of merit to get his attention, and tells him to go back to the mid card. I was like, damn. And he basically mocks LA Knight, yeah, by saying Logan Paul, yeah. And I thought this was really good, actually. This was a really good promo by Logan Paul.
And it gives credence now to what LA Knight said that he's going to have to bring the SmackDown, because, you know, sometimes the best type of, I'm trying to think, I know there's another story like this and I can't remember off the top of my head. I'll remember as soon as we go off air. But there's a story about the idea that the champion doesn't even see the challenger because who are you? LA Knight? You mean you're the guy that lost to Roman Reigns? You're the guy that lost all of your feuds to AJ Styles? You're the guy that, what was it, beat AJ Styles, I believe, at WrestleMania. Was that right? Am I right in that? I can't remember now, but that's bad. I mean, LA Knight has not done anything of merit in his entire tenure there. So really, the best thing is when the heel just ignores him and says, I don't even want to pay attention to you. It's kind of like, you know what it is? It's like Ricky Morton challenging Ric Flair. Ricky Morton was a tag team specialist in the 80s, you know, with NWA and Rock and Roll Express. Nobody thought that Ricky Morton had any chance against Flair. And Flair just was like, you're a tag team specialist. I don't care. But in that match, he made you believe. Ricky Morton thought, oh my God, what if he does win? Even if he doesn't, he still looked good in defeat, and it put Ricky Morton more. So this idea of Logan ignoring him because you're a mid-carder, who are you? As long as LA Knight wins, I think we're good. If he doesn't win this United States Championship, oh, it's going to be bad. Maybe not for the first outing. I could see a cheating thing, but at the end of this feud, he's got to be U.S. champion. Otherwise, you've wasted it again.
You know, and it's crazy. I don't know if this match will even happen at Clash of the Castle because it hasn't been made official, right?
Right. I think it's going to happen at Money in the Bank. And then I think we'll get the SummerSlam moment of LA Knight winning the U.S. Championship from Logan Paul.
Hold on a sec. SummerSlam is in Logan Paul's hometown of Cleveland, Ohio.
He's got to be humbled somehow.
So,
everybody loses in their hometown once. Edge, John Cena. The list goes on.
Yes, it's definitely going to be an interesting dynamic there. You know, I mean, I don't know. I definitely want LA Knight, yeah, to be the one to dethrone Logan Paul, but we'll have to wait and see what their plan is.
But here's the thing. Logan Paul don't live in Ohio. He lives in Los Angeles. He moved away from that crappy city, he'll probably say, to go to the bright lights and the street lights of Los Angeles. So he could easily turn on the crowd.
Because Miss is also from Cleveland, and he said that he just Cleveland, and because he said he moved to LA. So yeah, that's true. You do bring up a good point. So who knows? Maybe he'll get booed in his own hometown.
Yep, he probably will.
All right, so the main event was a 6-man tag match. It was Street Profits and Kevin Owens versus the Bloodline. I thought this match was going well, but it ends in a no DQ because Sikoa hit Montez Ford with the steel chair. And then at the end, they basically decimated Kevin Owens and the Street Profits. They put Kevin Owens through the announce table. They did the triple power bomb, which was the Shield's iconic finish. And this is how SmackDown ended. Like, Paul Heyman just has, like, his eyes closed. Like, oh, my God, you know? So I thought I didn't mind the ending to SmackDown. But, like, I'm like, why did this match have to end in a DQ? I guess they didn't want Kevin Owens or the Street Profits to lose. I guess they didn't want any team to lose. But what are your thoughts on this?
Someone please tell Tama Tonga he sounds like Taz from the damn Looney Tunes. Bah, 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 bah. Please stop it. Just stop it now. That, to me, was the most distracting thing of the first part of the match. That's one thing. The match overall was great. The DQ finish, it's the same thing over and over. Oh, it's a DQ. Oh, the Bloodline wins. Again, I get it, but we're not talking about Roman Reigns and the Usos here. We're talking about Solo Sikoa and the two newbies, which, again, they can take the loss to a degree, but at a certain point, you want the team to be dominant. If you're supposed to make me afraid, right, or in fear for Paul Heyman of Solo Sikoa being this monster, hits him with the damn chair. It should have been hit him with the chair and then spike, and spiked. I don't know. Even if he killed all of them with the spike, get them over. Because I'm not reading this into the Shield. The Shield was dangerous because it was 3 of them, right? Maybe that's what they're going for, but I can buy, because I don't know Tama Tonga and Tongaloa, but getting Solo to be this over heel and he's going to face Roman Reigns and be a danger to Roman, I don't see it. The match was all right, but it was very random. Bobby Lashley's injured. I understand they have to use the Street Profits for something, but what bands them together besides the Street Profits are, baby faces?
Which is why I felt like Kevin Owens and the Street Profits would have been okay losing this match.
Exactly.
I feel like the Street Profits could have taken the pin here.
Mhm.
This match didn't necessarily have to end in DQ. I felt like it would have made much more of an impact. No pun intended. No pun intended.
Nice.
If the Bloodline won this match and then beat up Kevin Owens and the Street Profits, I feel like that would have just made much more of an impact than what we got. But that's just me personally.
I mean, I would have loved it if Solo basically knocked down Kevin and gave Paul the chair and said, Paul, take your revenge. Kevin Owens tried to do something to you. Paul, do it now. And he would say, I'm sorry, whatever, lightly hit him. And so the idea is, again, you have this running story of Kevin Owens wants revenge on Paul Heyman still. And again, it would have made sense because the idea is Paul Heyman does it, is in tears, and now Solo gets in his face and says, I want you to thank me because I gave you this opportunity to get your revenge on Kevin Owens. They saved you last week. I now gave you the opportunity to make an impact, no pun intended, on Kevin Owens. You're welcome, Paul. Tell me thank you. Who am I to you? My tribal chief. Zoom in on Paul's face. The rest of the story, SmackDown ends. Him in tears. Solo standing over him. All 3 of them standing over Kevin Owens and him just with his hands in his hair with the hand. I mean, it writes itself. So to me, the assassination of Kevin Owens would have made sense had Paul Heyman been the one to do it. Because remember, he brought about the fact that I met your kids. You met my kids. So I don't know. They missed an opportunity. I hope they go further with it, but I would have much rather seen that. Because we've seen the domination before. Oh, you're muted, Donna.
Yeah. Sorry. All right. So with that being said, that concludes this review. So on a scale from a 1 to a Sean Spears perfect 10, what would you rate tonight's show?
I'm gonna say a 7. It was okay. It felt like it was over faster than I expected, which sometimes is good. That means there was no lull in the matches, I guess. I think it served them well getting rid of Apollo Crews' match versus Angel or Hamoto or whoever he was going to fight. So 7. I'll give it a 7. It was a fair show. And again, the Styles and Cody, I wanted a little bit more, but I liked what I saw.
I'm going to give it a 7.5. I thought overall tonight was a really good show. Wasn't a huge fan of like poor Apollo Crews getting taken out and stuff like that.
Yeah.
There were little things I disliked here and there. Like, I still think the main event should have had a clean finish. The Bloodline should have won and decimated Kevin Owens and the Street Profits at the end.
Yep, I agree.
So, but aside from that, that was a pretty decent show.
I wonder if they did that because we're going to get a 6-man Anarchy in the Arena type of, match with them at Clash at the Castle. Because, do I want to see Kevin Owens and Solo Sikoa at 1-on-1? No. But they're all in the Street Profits, have a 6-man brawl to make the crowd happy. That's maybe what I think. But maybe that's why they did the DQ. Because Kevin Owens and Street Profits are so mad. They want to fight with no rules. You know what? A Bloodline rules match at Clash at the Castle. And enter Jacob Fatu either for one side or the other.
Oh, I would like that idea.
No DQ? It makes sense.
True that. All right. So, where can people find you on social media?
You can find me on X at WrestleM Podcast. Again, I review Raw, SmackDown, and NXT, and of course, any PLEs. And in fact, I mentioned on my AEW Double or Nothing show that they've convinced me to start reviewing all of their pay-per-views this year. So I'll be
does
reviewing
that include
those.
Forbidden Door?
Yes, I will actually enter the Forbidden Door on my side and actually review it. Yeah. So they've got me at least intrigued enough to review the pay-per-views. So that's something.
Okay. As for myself, you can follow me on Twitter at Datila_. I tweet all things wrestling, WWE, AEW, TNA. I go live every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, occasional Saturdays, and Sundays for all things TNA. Make sure you check me out every Thursday on Body Slam. Now, as far as Sunday's concerned, I'm a woman of my word, so I'm going to review NXT Battleground. Really looking forward to that Jordan Grace match.
Yep.
And then, yeah, that's pretty much it. But thank you guys all so much for watching. If you continue support, please don't forget to like and subscribe. Make sure you hit that bell so you get notified whenever I go live or release a video. And if I don't see you guys Sunday for NXT Battleground, I'll see you guys Monday after Raw. Bye.
See ya.